Welcome to Pensacola, Florida here as the FSS is at the Five Flag Speedway for a 75-lapper, the Pensacola 60. Crispy Fried Racer and VGO3 make up the front row. Row 2 is the O2 of Cigar and the 46 of 79YT. And rounding out the first three rows is Ben Pie and Dog. 5 drivers failed to qualify for this race. The 13 of Cookies, the 4 of Cool Guy, the 25 of Disick. As the green flag is out, the other 2 drivers that failed to make it into this race would be the 88 of Sean Seeley and the 91 of Jazz. But quickly, a good start by Cigar and Crispy. And Cigar's going to try and set up a pass here at the end of the first lap. Crispy holds the lead, but Cigar's going to drive it in deep on the bottom. And there are several drivers up here. The 24 and the 60 in particular are championship contending drivers. They are both inside the top 5 in points. A Cigar will take the lead at the end of the second lap. Now Ben Pie is going to try to get around Dew Storm. He does. He does not clear him yet. He will here off of 3 and 4. Now he's going to set his sights on the 42 of Crispy. Ben Pie lost the championship lead last week, and I'm sure that he's going to do anything in his power to try and get it back. Although he's going to make a mistake of trying to set up a pass on the outside. Here at Five Flags, the outside lane doesn't quite have nearly the same amount of disadvantage, so you can at least show any sign of fighting back, as Dew Storm, I believe, is going to complete the pass. Because Joester Jackhammer in that State Farm Dodge is having a pretty clean run for once, running in 4th place. In the back there, it's the 73 of John Felburn, the 22 of Angelina. Random J is back there. You see the Delta car. He's the championship leader coming into this race. He had a 2-point lead over Orioles and another 2 back to Ben Pie. And now Dew Storm battling Crispy for second. Here are the AIM cars, as they've been known. All in motorsports. As now Dew Storm will go over to the bottom, and he's going to try and take second away from the Tesco Dodge of Crispy. Now, can he get around Cigars? It looked like Joester had to check up down at the bottom. Looked like he may have tried to drive it in too deep, and he had to stall out his momentum. And that's going to allow John Felber to set up a move for 5th place. And there's Tropical in that 40 car. Tropical is been on a surprising rise to the top of the point standings. He had 3 straight DNFs, I believe, to start out the season. And since then, he's driven that car all the way up to 8th in points. And Ethan Matson was, at one point, the championship leader in that Five Guys number 16. But got caught up in a crash at Salem, and that dropped him off. But realistically, the 62, the 24, the 60, the 62, the 24, the 60, the 16, and the 40, all drivers in the top 10 in points, running right up near the front of the field. Is now Crispy and Dew Storm racing it out. They might have touched back there. But these 2 teammates, of course, AIM's been one of the best teams this season in FSS, and now Ethan Matson battling Ben Pie for 6th. Then we got the 8 of Hoodlum in the mix. That is the 64 Napa of Nexus Combat in his 2nd start. Nexus, of course, is replacing Hughes Moves, who got suspended after his behavior off track. Nexus has been doing a pretty solid job. Oh, Crispy gets into Dew Storm. Dew Storm gets put into the outside lane. I don't think he's going to be any too happy about that. And I know with the history that he has with that 15 car right behind him, those 2 at Salem, I believe, got into an altercation. probably the last person that Dewstorm rather wants to be around. Now Dewstorm has shaken off of this minor collision, and now he wants to get around the 42 for second place. Dewstorm could very well take over the points lead. He's running in second. He's currently sitting fourth, 35 points out of the lead. Now it's the 15 in fourth. Meanwhile, Hoodlum, Angelina, Benpai, and Tropical running 7th through 10th. It looks like Random J has fallen out of the top 10. Random J, in fact, is one of only 2 drivers this season who have recorded 5 top 10s in 8 races. The other one of which is the 16 of Matson, who is running in 6th place right now. And now Dewstorm's still fighting Crispy. I think he's going to clear him here. And he does. Next time by, we'll have officially completed 20 laps here at Pensacola. Here comes Joester for third. Last time we really saw this car competitive was at the season opening race at Daytona. Maybe in general that this 15 cars in either series just have not had great seasons. Here's a good battle here. Look at this. The 24, the 7, the 2, and the 40 are all championship contending drivers. And they're racing hard right now for around the 9th and 10th spots. Here comes Orioles. He's sitting second in points. That's Yoshi behind him in 6th. Yoshi gets into Orioles. Orioles on the apron. He hits Benpai and spins into the wall. And I believe that's going to bring out the caution. Let's see. Caution is indeed out. First time today on lap 22. And Orioles sitting second in the point standings. That's a massive, massive blow to his championship hopes. As now we've got caution pit stops taking place as Cigar is going to lead the cavalry into the pits. We'll see if anybody's going to be bold and stay out, although it does not appear that way. Have to see here. I'm going to assume 4 tires. The O2 is taken 2. Yep, 4 tires stop. Meanwhile, Dog was like way down the field. Oh, VGO3. Oh, VGO3 hits Cigar. Cigar's going to get stuck. And that's going to cost him a load of time. VGO3 is going to have to stall his car. He gets hit by Dewstorm. And Crispy got damage in that. There were 3 of the AIM cars that all crashed into each other in the pits. The 6, the 42, and the 60 all crashed into each other. And there's big damage on the 6. We're going to get a replay here as what brought out the first caution, and we caught it live as we ride on board with Yoshi in the number 2. Yoshi's going to use that bumper like a red shell, send Orioles down to the bottom, and then he clips Benpai and simply just spins out, gets into the wall. Not a whole lot of damage done, but enough to cost him some valuable track position. With how small this track is, long pit stops will put you on the tail end of the lead lap. John Felber is going to lead the field on the restart. The 12 of Jackman and the 3 of Adam Mitchell had such poor pit stops that they're going to fall way to the back. But Cigar challenges the 73 right away, and he's going to take the lead. Jackman is sitting 7th in points, that 12 car is, and with him getting lapped here, that is going to be an absolute soul crusher for him. But looks like Hoodlum in the 8 is following on the bottom. Looks like Ethan Matheson may have gotten into the wall. No harm, no foul past that. We stay green. And now Hoodlum's going to go to the bottom and make a move for the lead. As I think I saw the 00 of J-Rack pull into the pit lane. And there was another car, which may have been the 61. I believe it was the 61. It was a yellow car. As now Hoodlum's going to get around VGO3. And look at Nexus Combat. He's making a nice headway here. He's up to 4th place, and he's looking for 3rd. On Felber Tropical Cyclone, Random J has recovered from his kind of fall through the field in the first run. Hoodlum's going to get forced up high by Adam Mitchell. And, well, now he's going to try again. Even though that's not the preferred lane that you'd use to get around these lap cars, Hoodlum definitely seems desperate on getting the 3 car out of the way. But that's just going to allow the entire field to just close in on you. Hoodlum still quite can't do anything. As now the top 2 begin to spread out a little bit. That other car that I saw pull into the pits was indeed the 61 of Vortex. So that would mean yet another one of the AIM cars having problems. So far, the only 2 that have been immune from those issues. I guess actually Ethan Matheson hit the wall. So the only car that's not had any problems was the 64 of Nexus, who's now moved into 3rd place. Angelina's moved into 6th, and with a good pit stop, the 97 of Mech is running in 8th at the moment. As Hoodlum is still getting tied up with the Mitchell car, as here comes Cigar, who has put that awful pit road accident behind him and is hunting for the lead. Adam Mitchell is desperately hoping for a caution here. Hoodlum's going to finally get around to the bottom, but then he just tries down the outside because I think Mitchell is just taking his line. That 02 still can't find a way around. Hoodlum has 1 career win, I believe, in the FSS. Came last season. I'm sorry, no, he has 2 career wins. He won a race this season, he won a race last year. He also came close to winning the Charlotte race. But he could be the first 2-time winner this year if he can hang on. But here comes Cigar. Going to try and set up a move. Cigar is currently sitting 11th in points, so a win could very easily elevate him into a championship contending spot. Random J's up to 4th. Then it's the 22 of Angelina. Tropical, the 20 of Kyle Wilfred. Then it's Mech, Ben Pye, and Julio Cesar, the top 10. And now it is the 0-2 to the bottom. I think he's going to get him this time. Hoodlum fighting back every way he can, but I think it's going to be a losing battle here for him. As now Cigar retakes the lead. But he's not quite clear yet. I think he will hear off of turn 2. Oh, he gets into Hoodlum. Here's Julio Cesar. He's currently running back in the 10th spot. He's another driver that's had a bit of a turnaround this season, and he's running 10th in points. So Cesar having yet another good run in the latter half of the year. And he's going to get around the 42 of Crispy, I believe. In fact, I think Crispy, I could be wrong, but Crispy might have had an issue in that first pit stop because he is falling way back. Here's Beck, the 97, Mechanized Chaos. Having a good run. He hasn't had too many of those this season. Tropical looking for 4th place on the 62 of Random J. And I believe he's going to get it. Angelina in the 22 looking for 5th. Tropical's come a long way this season, and now he's got to get around a rookie in the 64. And yes, Crispy did in fact have an issue. We got a caution out here with 27 laps to go. And it is the 55 of Abigail Lane and the 12 of Jackman. 2 cars around will put us under our second caution of the day. With 27 laps to go. Abigail Lane was running 11th at the time. And she was negotiating around the lap car of Crispy. Let's see. That's the same thing we saw earlier. Crispy just gets into her right rear and Lane loses control, and Jackman has no place to go but to run into the side of the 55. Significant damage down to the front end of Jackman. Hasn't really had a good day as he had a pit problem. And he's just going to have no place to go. Runs into Lane. He was in 29th at the time. But I believe both cars are going to be able to continue. As here we go for the restart. It will be Cigar ahead of Hoodlum. We've got a couple cars lined up on the bottom. That is Crispy, who had the damage sustained in that pit road accident. The 6 of VGO3, the 00, the 61, and the 12 are all at least 1 lap down. The 12, in fact, has gone 2 laps down now. Pace car ducks into the pit lane. We're going to restart with 22 to go. Cigar, the leader, and then it's the 8, the 64. The inside line, though, is going to get the jump. Look at Angelina tucks her way to the bottom, and she's going to try and forge a path to the front. Hoodlum's going to find a line in the middle. They're 3 wide. Hoodlum to the lead here. Can he get it? Angelina sticks it in way deep. Angelina to the bottom. Can she clear Hoodlum? Hoodlum did not lead that last lap. The 02 car did. Angelina's going to lead this lap. The 22 goes to the lead as Yoshi Racing's had a puncture and he's been forced to pit. What was once a good day is now going to put him back in the field. As a bunch of the cars on the tail end of the lead lap have gotten back on it. Meanwhile, that is the 97 of Mech that has worked his way on the bottom, and he's dragged along Julio Cesar and his teammate Nitro. As Mech now clears the 12 car, he's going to set his sights on Hoodlum for second place. Now Angelina is caught in lap traffic. We'll have to see as what happens. Here comes Hoodlum. He wants the lead back. On the 22. Not going to be this lap, but I think Hoodlum's going to clear it through 3 and 4. He's going to have the edge down the back stretch. And he's going to drive it in deep through 3. He's going to clear. Hoodlum retakes the lead. 16 laps to go. And Mech's going to follow into second place. Question is now, can Hoodlum hold off the 97? Or does Mech have anything for a winner earlier this year? Now Julio Cesar is going to get around the 22 as Jackman is interfering with the 56. Looks like that's the 92 of Matthew. running in 6th place. He hasn't had too many good runs this season, so to see him in the top 10 is a good sign. That Florida Gators car, definitely a hit with the fans. Now Hoodlum has the buffer of the VGO3 car, but he's going to get forced wide by Mech. So now it's just the 8 and the 97 back-to-back. Nobody in between. But now Hoodlum's going to have trouble with Vortex. Vortex forces him up out of the groove, and Mech's going to close in a bunch of time. The gap now less than 0.2 of a second that time by. Contact between Crispy and J-Rec. That's going to allow the leaders to at least get under the 00. And he's going to get moved out of the way and put back a lap down. This time by 10 laps to go. Now it's the 61 of Vortex playing a factor. Still not getting out of the way of Hoodlum. Gets into the back of him, I think. And Mech's there. He's to the inside. With under 10 laps to go. Mechanized Chaos has driven his way in a second. He wants the lead. Meanwhile, Dog, in likely his final start, has snuck his way into the top 5. Hoodlum setting up a pass on the 61 of Vortex. 8 to go. The 42 is, I believe, the last lap car in front. But Crispy, we know that he's got a fast car. We saw it up at the front earlier. Angelina's fallen back to 7th. Cigar way back to 8th. As Mech is going to get around the 61 car, I believe, this time. 6 to go. Although we do know that Crispy has had a history of getting into people this race. We'll have to see if that's going to play a factor. He forces Hoodlum out of wide. Here comes the 97. 5 laps to go. Hoodlum barely leads it at the line, but I think Mech's going to clear him. And he does. Mechanized Chaos takes the lead. And there's only 4 laps to go now. And the 61 is going to get by the 8. I think that may be all she wrote, as there are now lap cars. Caesar is also jammed up. 3 to go. This time by. A caution come out now. It would be the race. Mechanized Chaos has struggled this season very mightily. Hasn't had too many good results. Iowa, he could have had a chance, but he lost the engine. Now he is less than 2 laps away from his first career win. I don't think Crispy is going to be a factor. Hoodlum is clear of the 00. But it's going to be too little too late, as Mechanized Chaos will take the white flag. All of the fans on their feet here in tiny Pensacola, Florida, watching the FSS cars here around the final corner. Mechanized Chaos is going to drive to his first FSS victory at 5 Flags. Results on screen now. Thank you all so much for watching. And now we will have to tune in with the ACS as they are at Talladega for some high-speed action.